In this video, I'll be talking about the importance of professional writing for your work at UOIT and also for your profession in general. We're talking about about attitudes toward writing and it's relevant to your actual writing. I'll introduce social science writing to you, the various forms of social science writing to which you will be exposed during your studies at UOIT. And we'll be talking about one form of professional writing, and that's professional email or professional communication. And then we'll talk about the writing assignment on professional email. Being able to write well, to be able to write professionally, is going to be very important for you going forward. It's going to be very important in your current and future university courses. It's going to be very important for you as you engage in routine communication with your professors, with your fellow students, with your fellow employees, with your supervisors, and it's going to be very important for your professional advancement. I could challenge you to find a career in which writing is not important, whether you are writing routinely, communicating with colleagues, communicating with supervisors, communicating with clients, with members from other organizations with whom you will be working, writing reports, writing newsletters. I can guarantee that if you're going to go far, that you will be required to do a fair amount of writing. And people who write well advance further. So it's really in your interest while you're in UOIT to sharpen your writing skills. Now, the news that writing is going to be important for you at UOIT and in your career might be welcome to some of you. Some of you may love writing. Some of you, not so much. What is your attitude toward writing? How would you rate your attitude? Would you rather cut your leg off than write? Can you take it or leave it? Think writing's cool? Or are you so in love with writing that there's nothing more that you would rather do than write? Well, it turns out that your attitude could be anywhere along this scale, but that doesn't stop you from being a good writer and from doing a lot of writing. Let me use myself as an example. I've been in academia since 1987. I've been a prof for a long, long time. I've done a lot of writing in my work. This document is called my curriculum vitae, my CV. It summarizes much of the writing that I've done over the years. So, for example, in this column you see research grants. These are research grants, sizable documents that I was required to write to get funding for my research. There's a number of those. These are books that I have either written or edited over the years. Book chapters. And articles in referee journals. You'll learn more about what these various sources are as late as 2011 and as early as 1985. So let's come back to our question about attitudes toward writing. Given the amount of writing that I've done over the years, where do you think I would fall on this scale? What's my attitude toward writing? You might conclude that there's nothing more that I like than writing. I've done so much of it. Well, it turns out it's not the case. Actually, I can take it or leave it. Spending quality time with my computer is really not the most enjoyable thing for me. I do a lot of writing because it's important for my professional development. It's gotten me to where I am today, and I need to do this to be a good university prof and a good university citizen. So it's functional for me. That's why I do a lot of my professional writing. And really the message here for you is you really don't have to love writing. You don't really even have to like writing. If you do, it's great. You can find much gratification in writing. But if you don't love writing, if you don't like writing, you can still be good at it. You can still do a fair amount of it and use writing to advance your professional development. Okay, let's turn now to the various types of social science writing to which you'll be exposed during your education at UOIT. This is just a sample of the types of social science resources you'll be using. There are others, but I just wanted to introduce you to some of the basic resources. So we'll talk about research monographs, edited volumes, and journal articles. Research monographs and edited volumes are both books. There is an important distinction between them, however. In the case of research monographs, and here's some examples from psychology. They are compilations, usually literature reviews, research reviews, written by a single author. So one author wrote the book from beginning to end. Okay? Difference between a research monograph and the next one, edited volume, is that in this case the book is all about a common topic, but it was not all written by the same author. This is a book that I recently edited called Conviction of the Innocent, and you can see based on the table of contents that there are various chapters that were written by different authors. So different authors contributed to the book, and one editor, in this case me, reviewed, edited all of the chapters, and put the book basically together. So difference between research monographs and edited volumes is that research monographs are authored by a single author, edited volumes written by multiple authors, chapters written by different authors, so different voices contribute to an edited volume. The next source I wanted to introduce is research reports. Research reports you would find in what we call refereed journals or peer-reviewed journals. You'll find a whole section on the peer review process later in this course. So these are individual articles published in social science research journals. Okay? And these are examples of social science research journals, specifically psychology journals. So journal articles would have research reports and literature reviews. So as an example of a research report, this is an example of a research report. The title is Innocent Effects of Training on Judgments of Truth and Deception in the Interrogation Room by authors Casson and Fong, and it's published in the journal Law and Human Behavior. So Law and Human Behavior is the journal. This is the title of the article. And if you were to scroll through the article, you would see that it is indeed a research report. There's a literature review. There's a method section describing a research study that the authors performed. Scrolling through, you would find that there is a results section where the authors describe the data that they collected, the statistical analyses they performed on it, and then there is a discussion section that follows, in which the authors summarize the conclusions from their study and what it means for the broader literature. So that's a research report. You would also find in these journals literature reviews. So this is on the same topic, same journal, Law and Human Behavior, and the title is Police-Induced Confessions, Risk Factors, and Recommendations. So rather than reporting an original study, as in the previous example I gave you, in this case the authors are reviewing a larger body of literature and not reporting original data, but really synthesizing a large body of research and making recommendations out of it. So that's an example of a literature review. While a student at UOIT, most of your writing will involve literature reviews. You will be writing term papers for courses in which you'll be reviewing social science literature in various types of assignments. You might also have the opportunity to write a research report, particularly in your later years, in the research methods or integrating project course, or if you decide to do and are eligible to do an honors thesis, you might write a research report. Okay, let's move on to the next topic in the outline, which is professional email. Professional email is a form of professional communication. You'll be using it quite a bit in your work at UOIT. You'll be using UOIT email through WebCT and through My Campus. You probably already use it in various capacities, perhaps even for work. Perhaps you're emailing colleagues at work or supervisors or customers. A very common form of communication, and it's very important to learn how to use email professionally and to communicate professionally through email. Okay, so what are the various purposes of professional email? I'll mention several. One is to get information, a second is to make requests, and a third is to provide information. A fourth is to make conversation, which may be important if you're trying to establish rapport with the party to whom you're emailing. So various purposes of professional email: get information, make requests, provide information, make conversation. What are the effects of email? Now think about this. We're sending email. We're expecting it to have some kind of effect. One effect to be aware of is first impressions. You may be emailing somebody with whom you have not had contact, so the nature of your email is going to create their first impression of you, and you want that impression to be professional. A second effect of email is that the person you're emailing is getting to know something about you. So how you communicate influences, again, it influences the impression that others are going to have of you, and it's going to influence your reputation among them. Another effect of email is that we're often creating work for people, and we need to be sensitive when we're creating work for people because a lot of people are overworked, and that relates to the fourth effect of email, and that's stress. Email, because it's often piling work on top of other work, email can be creating stress for the people receiving it. So it's important to be aware of these various effects that email has on other person's impressions, reputation, work, and stress. Those are some of the effects of email. So let's move on to the actual content of email. What is the appropriate content of email? And we can break down email into its various components, probably best understood through example. Okay, let's move on to the content of email. The content of the email is going to include information in the subject line, it's going to include a salutation, and it's going to include the body of the email message. For the subject line, you want to be very specific when referring to the subject of your email, question about an assignment, seeking more information about what it is you're seeking information about. Don't put subject lines that are vague or uninformative. When I receive email from students, I look for the subject lines, and the ones that I'm going to respond to first and give the highest priority are the ones that I can judge are important and timely issues. And I judge that by looking at the subject line. So the subject line is very important. The salutation is how you address your professor or your boss or whomever it is you're writing. When you're writing to a professor, do not assume that you are on a first name basis with the professor unless you are told that it's okay to do that. It's a good idea to refer to your professors as Dear Professor Cutler, Dear Dr. Cutler. And again, unless you're specifically given permission to write on a first name basis, use the professor's formal title. When writing the body of your message, be very clear about what it is you are looking for. If you are requesting more information or requesting clarification, make sure you write very clearly what additional information you are looking for. There are times when I receive emails where it's not clear how I'm supposed to respond. It's not clear whether the student is just telling me something or asking me for something. So make your question very clear. Avoid requesting information that is already available elsewhere. So for example, I have a course syllabus, I have a video about the course. It doesn't create a positive impression when you write to me requesting information that you could easily get from the syllabus or from some other source. Okay, moving on to the tone of email. It's not a good idea to write angry emails, write accusatory emails, or demanding emails. That's not the best way to get cooperation from whomever you're writing to. If you happen to be angry or upset, it's a good idea to not write the email at that time, or write it, review it again, and send it later so that you can write it in a balanced way, not appearing angry, not appearing demanding. Keep in mind when you're writing professional email, it's not the same as texting, so you don't want to write abbreviations like LOL or LMAO. No text speak. Write out your thoughts in full words, full sentences, correct grammar, correct spelling. Have your emails have an air of formality to them. Make sure they are very clear and relatively brief. People are busy. Emails can stress them out. They don't want to have to read through paragraphs and paragraphs of emails just basically to get to the point or to get to the question. So those are some comments about writing style. Then a few additional comments about timing. At UOIT, we try to respond to emails within 2 working days of the time that they're sent. By working days, we mean Monday through Friday. So do not necessarily expect that you'll get your emails responded to on the same day. It may take a day, it may take 2 days. Many people do not work on weekends. So if you write on a Friday, you may not hear back until Monday or Tuesday. Once you send by email, assume that the email has been received. Do not write again in an hour or 2 hours asking why you haven't received a response, or asking the same questions, or saying maybe you didn't receive this, because, well, we probably did receive your email. Let's move on to the final topic of this video, and that's to explain a little bit about the writing assignment that's due, and that's the professional email writing assignment. So basically what I'm asking you to do in this email is write a professional email to a professor. Don't submit it through email, but actually write it in Microsoft Word so you can upload the document using the assignment tool. That's how you submit all of your assignments for this class. So if you go to the assignment tool, you can download the instructions, and they'll look something like this. And I'm asking you to write a sample email message to a professor, such as me, in which you ask for assistance with understanding part of your required reading. So again, you're not going to send the email through the actual email program or WebSeat email. You're just going to write it in Microsoft Word. So identify something in a source that you have read, the publication manual, course syllabus, assignment, that you don't understand. Using what you've learned about email as professional communication, draft your email message asking your instructor or teaching assistant for clarification. Okay? If you actually understood everything you've read, just make something up. Okay? When you write your message in Word, you should have a line as indicated here, to, and then you put the name, the subject, write a good subject line, and then the message. So I want to see the content of the message representing professional communication. And I've indicated in the assignment that the message should be about 150 to 200 words in length. And good luck with the assignment. I look forward to receiving your professional emails for this assignment and your professional emails throughout the rest of this term. So just to review where we've been, I started out this video talking about the importance of professional writing for your professional career in general and for your work at UOIT. I talked about attitudes toward writing, how we all vary in in our attitudes toward writing, in our interest in it, our love for it. It doesn't really matter how interested or how much you love or don't love writing, you can still do it very well and develop good writing skills and good writing habits. I introduced various social science literature to you, including research monographs, edited volumes, and journal articles, and we talked about professional email as a form of professional communication. And you have an assignment due soon on writing professional email.